What up, IDS Mob? Welcome back to the Introvert Dating Success Show. I'm your host, HarryWilmington, and once again with us, we have my lovely friend over here, Michelle.
Hey, hi guys. Nice to be back.
So, of course, doing the show, I am an introvert, but Michelle is very much an extrovert. And so, when we were doing the shows, we were doing the dating profiles, we took a break and we had a discussion talking about being able to approach people. She's a very bubbly person, and she's very great at being able to open up a conversation with complete strangers. Mm-hmm. I, on the other hand, even though I've gotten better at it, I am nowhere near as good as she is. And I think it's because as introverts, we oftentimes have certain hindrances in our brain that prevent us from wanting to do an approach or to talk to people that we don't know. Yeah. And so I wanted to talk to Michelle because we were having an interesting conversation about how do you break through those barriers and think about approaching people in a different way to where you become comfortable with it. And so she's very much an expert on that. So I figured we could talk about that today and just kind of go over some things that introverts can do to start feeling more comfortable. So to start off with, how is it that you're able to just go any place, whether it's, the job you're working at or go to like a bar or whatever, and have the wherewithal to want to actually go up to people and not only introduce yourself, but to try to find out about them?
Gotcha. So I think a common thing that most, if not everybody, fears about like meeting new people or being in an environment that they don't know is the fact that it is scary. I think everybody has that feeling. Like even when I go to an environment that I don't know, or like a party or an event, and I'm like the sole person there, like I don't know anybody. I'm like, woof, I don't know anybody here. All right, let's get to know some people. And it's, it can be a little intimidating, but like with the thought in the back of my mind.
So even extroverted people still go into situations feeling like, what's going on? I'm apprehensive. I'm nervous.
I don't know anything about this thing except for like, oh, this is an event that I wanted to go to, or this is a thing that I want to do. There's a lot of things that I've done in my entire life that I have to do solo, like going to the movies by myself, going to eat dinner by myself, or going to like a big deal, like trying out for like a team sport, or like going to a bar by myself or a party, and I know like the host, but nobody else. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So like, I'm a little apprehensive about it, and that's okay because I feel like everybody feels that way. And once you kind of get the idea in the back of your mind, like, oh, we're all kind of like in the same boat, it becomes a little less scary because it seems like that's a kind of a thing that you can relate to other people on. Okay. And so when I get to an event, the first thing I do is like, I look around. I see what the people are there and like, see how people are interacting, seeing how like they're open up to a lot of people. And a lot of times, like if like there is like a conversation going, I like, step over onto the side and like kind of hear what's going on. And like, if they like, they acknowledge that, I'll be like, oh, okay, let me just jump in here and like, see if I can join this conversation. One of the last parties that I went to, I knew 2 people at the party, and when I got there, I didn't see any of them. Oh, wow. So, like, I walked in, and, like, it was a costume party, and it was a lot of fun. But, like, when I walked in, I didn't know anybody, and I was just like, okay, this is, this is how, like, a typical, like, event would go if I didn't know anybody. And there was a group of people, they were like all talking and everything. So I walked on over and like they saw me obviously, and they were talking about a topic that I kind of enjoyed, and it was about sci-fi stuff. I'm a big freaking nerd. So like anything like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars, all that good stuff. All about. So when they they were talking about it, I just literally said, "Hi, I'm Michelle. I don't know anybody here, so I heard you guys talking about Star Wars," and I was like, I love Star Wars. So what's going on in this conversation? And they openly let me in.
Interesting. So you were able to latch on to a conversation, and then because you were a fan of the thing they were talking about, that made it easier for you to be able to go into this group of complete strangers. Yeah. And open up.
I mean, like, honestly, all it takes is, like, saying, hey, I'm so-and-so. I don't know anybody here. And I'm just kind of wanting to get to know people. Like, what's the worst thing that they can say? I don't want to talk to you.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because, like, for introverts, a big thing is fearing that, let's say they see that group, and we spend a lot of time in our head analyzing, is this the right moment to approach or to make this introduction? So how do you get past that barrier of, I want to possibly say something, but I'm afraid they might not want to talk to me, or I'm going to say the wrong thing and be embarrassed. Like, how do you break through that part?
So like if you wait for the right time to do something, it'll never happen, and that moment will pass. and it'll pass again, and it'll pass again, and it'll pass again, and you will always live in that realm of like, well, what if I did it? And that's not a realm you want to live in, because if you never do it, you'll never know. I worked at retail that was more tailored to women. And so men in there, they tend to be a little uncomfortable because they don't really know what they're doing in there. And they honestly, if they're shopping for themselves or for a gift, they're like, I don't know where to start. So they definitely don't know how to approach somebody like me in that environment, because I am a woman. And oh my god, and they're in an environment that they're uncomfortable in, and they're like, well, I'm completely out of my element here. I don't know even where to start. Yeah. So this gentleman came up to me. He did not introduce himself to me. I was the one who started. I said, hi, how are you doing tonight? And he looked at me like, me? And I was like, yeah, you. I was like, how are you doing tonight? And he was like, oh, I'm okay. I'm a little overwhelmed. And I was like, yeah, this place can be a little overwhelming. It's a little intense because there's a lot to look at. There's a lot to do. And honestly, if you're in here looking for something for yourself or someone else, I'm like, you could literally just kind of pass out from the amount of shit that is in this store. Oh my God, yeah. And, he got a little bit more comfortable because I kind of got him to relax a little bit. And so the fact that I was very open and chill about the situation, he felt like he wasn't super overwhelmed. And then he started to open up a little bit more. And he told me, he was like, oh no, my friend is shopping here for a gift for his wife. And so I'm just looking around. And then we just started having a little banter, a little conversation. And this guy, yes, he didn't start off talking to me, but he allowed himself to continue the conversation with me, even though he was uncomfortable, even though he was out of his element. He decided to take that step forward. Okay. And then at the end of our conversation, because his friend made his purchase and he came and found him, he turned to me, he was like, I had a nice time talking to you. I wasn't looking for anything. And I find you very beautiful and you were easy to talk to. And I was wondering if I could take you out. And at the time I was dating somebody. But I was very open and honest with him, because he treated me like, a human being. He did not objectify me in any way, shape, or form. He was very respectful. He carried on the conversation in the way that he was comfortable in, and he opened up. And so I said to him, I was like, I unfortunately am in a relationship, but I really enjoyed talking to you, and you were very respectful. And if I wasn't in a relationship, I'd probably take you up on that. And that's all it takes. You don't know if someone's going to say yes. You don't know if someone's going to say no. You don't know if they're going to be like, I don't know. You don't know anyone's mind. You don't know what someone's looking for. You don't know what they want. You can't be what they want. You don't, because you can't be what anyone wants. You just have to be yourself. So you have to take that step, that leap of faith, to just get to know somebody you may not know immediately. Yeah. And yes, I say leap of faith because it's a lot putting yourself out there. It's terrifying. So true. I was like, even for me, I am an extrovert. I love learning about people because I find human beings so fascinating, whether it's men, women, non-binary, all the people I find so fascinating because everyone's so wonderfully unique and perfectly imperfect that no one else can ever be like that person. So I'm like, I gotta know you as a human being. Mm-hmm. Some people are like, no, that's a lot. That's too much for me. And some people are open about it. But even for someone like me, it is a leap of faith to get to know somebody because I don't know how they're going to react to me because sometimes I can be a lot. Mm. And that's okay. If I'm a lot for somebody, it means that we're not compatible, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to meet other people in my life. I'm going to date other people in my life. I'm going to have more friends in my life. I'm going to have acquaintances in my life. I'm going to be like, I have business partners in my life. Now I was like, nah, no, you're not. No. But honestly, you're going to fail, and you're going to fail a lot. I fail so many times, but at the same time, each time is a lesson for me to learn. And that's why I get back up and I get back out there. And my sister, she's a huge introvert. And I tell her, I'm like, hey, I know it's scary meeting new people, and I know it's scary allowing yourself to be vulnerable, and especially in relationships, because you allow that person to know who you are. And if it doesn't work out, it feels like you just wasted so much time. And that she gets that way a lot. She's like, I just wasted 3 years of my life on a relationship that it ended. And I'm like, but that's not the bad thing. You got to know a human being that you really cared about. You will always have those memories. You will always have those lessons.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean that you will never have another person in your life that cares about you so much. You might have something that is even better. You might have someone who really understands you, and you might have someone who's willing to work through the things that you don't understand about them, but is willing to make that journey with you.
Very true.
You never know until you actually just get out there and try. And I keep saying, meeting new friends as an adult is so hard, because
oh my god, yeah, once you get out of college, it just gets harder every year, because
Exactly.
people get into family situations,
Yep.
and it's like they move away, and
Yep.
the friends you had aren't there anymore.
Yep.
Like,
and you're like,
it's
like, where do I meet human beings? Like, do I go to the library? Is that still a thing? Is that what cool people do? Like, you never know. Like, honestly, like, you could be at a grocery store and like you see someone that you find attractive. Like, if you're looking for a dating, you like, all it takes is like, hi, I don't mean to disturb you. Be respectful about it. Don't be a creep. Be like, yo, I like that ass. No, let's not start there. Objectifying a person is very insulting.
yeah.
Thank you, but no. There's a better way of saying it. And if I get to know you better and we start dating, I might allow that.
Yeah.
But like, that takes time and understanding, and it takes work. It takes a relationship, communication, all that. Anyways, but like, you can go up to somebody and say, hey, I like that dress, or I think you look amazing today. Everybody loves hearing compliments. This is a thing. Everybody likes hearing something about you, especially if it, like, particularly genuine comments. Like, don't be like, yeah, your haircut looks good. Yeah, like, don't be a dick about it. Like say genuine things about a person. Nobody likes fake people. It's insulting. And by the way, your hair always looks good, so you're fine. I'm not like that. No, that comment totally. I'm so sorry. But like, be genuine about it. I know it's scary, but like, when someone comes up to you and be like, I'm not trying to be rude, but you smell really good. What are you wearing? That's a great conversation starter. And people are like, oh, I really value that comment, because this may be a new smell that I'm trying out, or this may be something that I like, a fragrance that I love and I love talking about, or maybe it's something that I'm like, oh, I can give you the brand name, and that's the end of the conversation. But that's a moment that you shared, a genuine moment that you shared, and that's all it has to be. There are so many people that expect so much out of meeting new people. The expectations are high, and they shouldn't be there. You should have...
Well, it's interesting because you mentioned earlier too that like a lot of times people are focusing on who they have to be or present themselves as, and in the process of that, they're making it, by doing that, they're making it all about themselves versus like really focusing on, but what I want this other person's experience of me to be, and then how can I tap into their lives and what they find interesting about themselves to be able to foster a conversation that can lead to like a genuine connection.
You know who you are. You know what you like, you know what you don't like, you know things that you want to try, you know things that you value, things that like set you apart, make you very unique, things that like you want to talk about, things that you don't want to talk about. There's nothing wrong with being confident. There is a problem with being cocky and arrogant and narcissistic. There's a fine line, but there's nothing wrong with being comfortable with who you are as a person. And honestly, you know who you are as a person. You don't know who that other person is. So it's okay to talk about things that you like. So like, when like talking like about you, like you moved to a new location, I wanted to know more about it. I know where the I live. I don't care about that place. Like, when I get there, I'll be great. I'm gonna go to bed. But tell me about like this new place. How did you get it? Are you happy here? Tell me about the features that you love the most about this place. These are things that, like, to me, it matters because it matters to you. And you're a person that I want to get to know. So I want to know the things that matter to you. I know what mattered to me, and then we can bond over it. Because I take pride in the place where I live. Yes. And the fact that you moved to a new place, I'm like, that's fantastic. I was like, are you thinking about getting some plants? Should I bring you some plants? What color schemes do you like? I'm like, oh, back home I've got like some extra blankets and I don't need it. But like, I like hardwood floors. I've got hardwood floors. It's great, especially for like a girl who loves shoes. I love shoes. So high heels, like when I come over, it's going to make a great sound. I know that sounds really ridiculous and very specific, but these are like little nuances and little things that like make me different, but also connect to you and the things that make you unique and different. So you can connect to somebody even on the smallest of scale by telling them things that you like. So name something that you like.
Off the top of my head, the first thing I thought was Nintendo.
Nintendo. Yeah. Nintendo. Okay, games.
Mario, Zelda.
Mario, Zelda. Okay. Oh, first of all, new Zeldas.
Yes.
Do you like new Zeldas?
I've played them all and beat them, and it's as hard as nails every time. Yes.
Ah, yes. And Mario. What kind of Mario?
You know what? Classic. Well, I like the open world Marios more so than like the closed world ones, and of course Mario Kart.
Hell yeah, Mario Kart. Okay, and then there's a conversation because I loved my brother. He's a big gamer, so that's how I got into playing video games. And so like I understand these games, and I've played these games, and I'm like, okay, I love Mario Kart. We need to find an N64. We need to play right now. Yes. Right.
Switch has Nintendo 64 games coming
to
it now. Anyway.
Right. Oh my God, yes. And Zelda, he used to play Zelda all the time. I fell in love with Zelda Twilight Princess. That is my version of Zelda. I'm like, yes, bring it on, Ganondorf. I'll take your ass out. See, these are like little things. Like just because like you are interested in something, it may seem far-fetched, but you never know. Someone might really bond over that. And it doesn't mean anything besides the fact that this is a time that we connect on something that's similar. Now name something that you may think that I might not like.
That you might not like? Oh, gosh. Top of my head. Oh, man.
That you like that I might not like.
Okay, I'll say juggling. I don't know. Yeah, just randomly juggling.
Cool. It's a cool thing. It's a cool hobby. My hand-eye coordination's it's trash. I've tried it several times. I don't understand the concept of it. I like watching it when people do it. Do you know how to juggle?
I do.
That is impressive as and it's something that I'm not like actively interested in, but it's something that you like. And honestly, I'm like, that's okay. We can like, it is something that it makes, I'm like indifferent to it. I don't like it. I don't not like it. But it is a topic like that. Some people you're like, well, we don't connect on that one. That's totally fine. What's the worst thing that can happen? I say like, oh, juggling. Cool. I ain't got nothing to say about that, but like, I mean, like, okay, so, but like at the same, that some people will say it like that. Me as like, as outgoing as I am, I'm be like, okay, when did you learn how to juggle and why? Like that is such a random, like trait and skill to have, which is super cool.
She's very good at being able to like take anything somebody says and then just like
turn it into
well, no, just make it to like, okay, I can figure out like 3 or 4 things to, and that's what it's good to have. If somebody's giving you conversation topics, that's why it's good to pay attention and to be able to also then from there expand on whatever they say. Because chances are they are willing to do a deep dive into it. They're just waiting for somebody to come along and say, please ask me about this.
Yeah. You never know. Because I'm like, there's obviously a story about how you got interested in that, when you got interested in that, when you're going to show me how to juggle. And do you perform? And then also like, do you know any other little parlor tricks like that? Because like I've known people who are really good at magic. Never been interested in magic. Never. But I'm like, of course I want to see this magic trick. I also want to see how you do it because I'm like, in my head, I think I can do it. I can't do it. But I want to see how to do it because I'm like, oh, it's so fascinating. It's fascinating that you know these little things that I don't. And then I'm like, okay, why did you get involved? Why was this trick that you wanted to learn? And like we can go down so many different tangent roads about it. But that's just like the fact that I am fascinated about human beings. Some people won't be like that. And it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just an indifferent thing. Unless they blatantly say like, oh no, I fucking hate juggling. like, and you're just like, all right, we
That's
won't
a
talk
clear
about
sign.
juggling.
We're not
That's
talking about
totally
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, do you want to talk about it? And if they're like, no, then drop the freaking conversation, drop that topic and be like, all right, you hungry? I'm hungry. No, we'll just move on to something else. Because like, there's a lot of different things to talk about. Well, especially like with meeting new people. Easiest conversation starters, yo, you listening to any new music or you watching any new shows?
Yes.
Easiest ones, because either it's rare to find someone who doesn't like music. I've found people that don't like music.
And they have no souls.
They don't, but at the same time, I always want to know why. I am like,
see, that can be turned into a conversation.
Right.
Like, hey, how do you not like music? Everybody likes music. What are you talking
right,
about?
like even whale sounds. I'm like, that's music. Like, do you like whale sounds? Yeah, I like whale sounds. You like music, anyways. But like those are the easiest ones to start up on because everybody's like watching something.
Yeah.
Whether it's like TV, movies, or theater, or comic books, or because like I find like comic books to be a form of any books are a form of entertainment.
Yeah,
they're just not motion picture. But like those are the easiest ones to tap into because they might be reading something like that is like something new, like a self-help book, and they're like, oh well, I'm learning how to cook. I've never learned how to cook. I usually buy my soup. That's about it. Oh, you like soup? What kind of soup do you like? Boom, another conversation starter. Do you have a pressure cooker? Because those things are awesome to make soup in.
They are.
Get yourself a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
But yeah, like odds are you probably have something in common with every single human being on this planet. And I know that sounds a little like far-fetched, that thought. You're like, no, that's not it. But at the same time, give people the benefit of the doubt. If you are like, oh no, like this person, I don't think we'd have anything in common with, that means that you're already saying like this person is not for me without even giving them a chance.
Yes.
Give them the benefit of the doubt, just like you're giving yourself the benefit of the doubt of them learning about you.
Right. What was leading to my last question, which is for introverted guys, because we're always in our head.
Yeah.
How open are women on average to like a guy approaching them and trying to start a conversation of some kind? Whether it's in a grocery store, whether it's at a party, whether it's whatever, like how open are they actually to that interaction happening? Because we fear, I know it's going to happen. We typically fear that we're going to do that and then we're going to get like this horrible rejection, or that's going to be like, how dare you bug my day, this is that.
No.
Like, how realistic is that actually?
Not. Not at all. Despite the fact that I am a very approachable human being, because I just give off the positive, bubbly energy, and like that's a thing. I understand. I'm very aware of it. But I get approached a lot by a lot of guys. Whether guys are like the type of guys that I want to see or approach me, or whether they're not the type of guys that I want to approach me.
Okay.
And like this is a broad range. Like I'm talking about anywhere from like a 18-year-old all the way up to a 75-year-old guy.
Wow, 75.
75. And I'm talking about all the demographics. White, Black, Asian, Latinx, men, women, non-binary, religious, non-religious, all of the things. Republican, Democrat, liberal, blah, 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 blah. I've had it all. And it's not going to stop, and that's okay. And for me, it's respectful. It's all about respect. If you are objectifying me, that's how you're going to treat me for the entire duration of our relationship. Whether we're in a relationship as romance or intimacy, or we're just friends, or colleagues, or just like an acquaintance, that's how you're going to see me. You're going to see me as an object. So if you talk about my physique in any freaking kind of way, don't talk about specific physiques. If you find someone beautiful, tell them they're beautiful. That's not an insult. That is not objectifying me. That is just, that is a point of an opinion, but it is a respectful way of voicing your opinion. If you find me to be appealing to look at, say, like, keep it broad. Like, that's all it is. It's all about the respect of the game. And I've had men, like, completely out of the type of guys that I would actually give a chance to, or that I want to. They've come up to me and said, oh, I find you very gorgeous. And you have like I was like, you have like a great energy about you. I've had men say that. Okay. And honestly, what am I going to say? What the
How dare you say I have energy, you bastard?
Yes, how dare you tell me that I'm gorgeous? What the like, even a person who is the most insecure about the way that they look, if someone came up to them and say, hey, I think you're gorgeous and you have a very beautiful energy about you, they're going to be appreciative of that. They're not going to be like, no, you're wrong. Like, honestly, hey, they might say, no, you're wrong, but at the same time,
I hope not. That's something about their self-esteem altogether.
Yes, everybody's different, but I mean, if they say that, what's the worst thing that's going to come off of it? It'd be like, I'm sorry I offended you. Walk away. Mm-hmm. Or saying, I'm sorry, walk away. Or just not say anything and walk away. Like, obviously this person doesn't want that comment. That's okay. Mm. And to the people, the mass majority of the people who would respond to that comment as, thank you. That's very sweet. That's fine. You can also say and then if that's very sweet and that's the end of the conversation.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Don't go in with expectations of being like, oh, this chick, she's gorgeous. She's the love of my life. I have to have her. Oh my God. Cause you're always gonna you're setting up a relationship based on something that's superficial. You don't know if I'm like a beautiful person inside. You don't know if I'm a willing person to get to know another person simply based on that comment.
True. So
go in being open and honest in a respectful way to meet a woman if that's the kind of person that you're attracted to.
The show, yes, typically.
Yes, yeah. So we're going to say if that for a woman, go in with zero expectations. Because honestly, she's got zero expectations from you.
Yeah.
If you said that I was beautiful, I'd be like, oh, well, thank you. That's very sweet of you. Like, I didn't expect you to come up and tell me that, but you did. And that probably made my day. Not gonna lie. Like, when people say that, like, in a respectful way that they like my physical appearance, I'm like, oh, that's very sweet of you. That's very nice of you. I could comment back. I'll be like, oh, you have really kind eyes. And you're like, oh, well, thank you. And if, like, we're just like, okay, well, my name is Michelle. Mm. What's your name?
Oh, I'm HarryWilmington.
Exactly. So, like, that's the conversation starter, and you can, like, start talking and get to knowing each other a little bit more if that's what you want. And if things are comfortable and organic, then hand out those digits or DM Instagram, however you reach out to humans these days, right? Yeah. A lot of demons. But and if, like, you guys start to get to know each other a little more, and you're like, okay, well, this is like it's not. It's not feeling right for me. That's totally fine. Let it be what it is. There's no pressure to make a relationship work. Honestly, getting to know somebody is tough as it is. So take the pressure off yourself when you're meeting someone new. Just meet that person and then go from there. Because that person could be your best friend for life. That person could be your best friend for life and your partner. That person could be like your nemesis. That person could be like the godparent to your child. That person could be a surrogate
for
whatever.
Yeah, like you never know. You never know those moments that you're making that are gonna, you approaching that person. It doesn't have to turn into a relationship. It could just be like, hey, this is an exploratory thing, but ultimately you're going over there to try to ideally add some kind of positive value to their day, to their week. You might hit up that girl in the grocery store that you're like, oh, I just want to let you know that you're very pretty. And she might have been trying to go home to kill herself because she thought she was the ugliest thing in the world. Like, you never know.
You never know what someone's going through. So all it takes is a bit of kindness and a bit of respect, because that's all we want back as human beings. We just want kindness and respect. Because you're very right. You never know what somebody is going through. And sometimes that little bit of information from you might change somebody's entire day, might change someone's entire year, life. That's all they needed to hear. And you never know where that first statement, whether that first comment might lead you. And I know it's scary, but at the same time, like, it can be really beautiful and it can be really great. Just all it takes is one little step in the right direction of saying hi, my name is blah, 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 and I think you're very beautiful. Or, hi, my name is blah, 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 and I see you got checkers. I've never played checkers before. I don't know how to play it, but you're buying it. What's it for? You're going to get a gift? Like, that's a lot of detail. That's just me being me. But sometimes it's simple things like, oh, that coat would look great on you, and someone's examining a coat. It's simple things like that. Or like, oh, I see you got a Snickers. I love Snickers. Let's have a conversation about Snickers. Doesn't matter. I mean, people...
Especially those early conversations too. Like those early conversations don't need to be heavy. You don't have to go and try to think like, hey, let's talk about life and all this. It's like it just be something simple that just breaks the ice, but gives them a positive view of you that allows them to want to have a conversation and continue from there.
Exactly. And that's like, I think a lot of people like put a lot of pressure on icebreakers.
They really do.
Like huge icebreakers. Like, oh my God, I've got to say like the coolest thing ever. Did you know that when you sneeze, that the force of a sneeze can literally cause your heart to stop? And be like, dope little fact. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be that like profound. It could literally be like, oh, those shoes are sick. Where did you get those shoes at?
I've had dumb stuff work like at a bar. Be like, hey, what drink is that? What made you get that drink? I want to try it out. Boom. Now we're in a conversation.
Or even like at restaurants when people get like sizzling food or something.
Oh my God, that's the best.
Literally, you're just like, what did you get? What is that? Why can I want that. I want that. And then like you go on and be like, okay, so have you been here before? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, tell me the places that I need to explore in this city. Blah, blah, blah. Like when I've gone hiking and I love to hike, and a lot of tourists do the hikes in LA. And I get a lot of the times they're like, what are the hikes that I need to go explore? The touristy hikes, and then also like the unknown hikes.
Yes.
I get those comments a lot. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, let's like have a conversation about it. And it's literally me walking down the trail and they're like, hey, you're walking. Do you know this place? And that's it. Like, it just takes that step in the right direction of meeting somebody new.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Michelle, for talking to us today about that. So hopefully you guys have a better idea on how to approach and how to be less nervous about it and what to approach with. If you want more lessons on this, you can obviously go to introvertdatingsuccess.com. Check out the Introvert Dating Success Academy. Check out the other programs that I have there. And of course, if you want us to talk about more stuff like this on the show, or have any questions you want to ask in general that we can answer on the show, write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com. Or if you're watching on YouTube at youtube.com/HarryWilmington, leave a comment down below for that. Thank you, Michelle, for coming to talk to us.
Absolutely. It's been a blast. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Sorry about the lights here. We'll fix that in post. But anyway, yeah, that's all we got for today, guys.
Set a new mood.
I got it. No.
Yes!
I'm Harry Wilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next show. I am out. Peace.